Hi everyone and welcome to Club 3 episode 48 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. Apologies for a bit of a break in the schedule recently. There's been a bit of works going on around my neighbourhood and it's been quite noisy, so I couldn't quite find a spot to record in, but hopefully that's changed and we can move forward with a normal schedule from this point. But thanks for bearing with me. Today we're in the FA Cup against Liverpool. I put out a request last episode for you to decide which of the two games we were going to play, either Liverpool in the league or we were going to go to Liverpool in the FA Cup or Man City in the league, and you wanted the FA Cup. It's a quarter final, so we're sitting at the very back end of March, and since the last time you and I were together, where we had a brilliant win in the FA Cup against Arsenal, we played Liverpool in the league and we lost to them 2-1 at home. Bit unfortunate, but you know, we tried. And then we played pretty well against Newcastle United, scraped a 1-0 win, but looked reasonably good doing it. So I was relatively happy that finally we'd broken that bit of run of form that we'd had recently in the league, which was positive. All that's meant in terms of league positions that we currently sit in 6th position, but we've got a game in hand over those above us, and we need it to get away from this group behind us, really. And we also need it just to see if we can get back on the coattails of Chelsea and see if we can nick another Premier League position in the run-in, basically. So you can see Liverpool out top. They look like they're going to be good candidates for winning the title. Then Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, then us. And then Bournemouth and Man United sitting directly behind us. So there's a lot still to play for, as I say. So today we've still got 8 games left in the Premier League to do. But today we're in the FA Cup. And a good change of pace, good opportunity to see if we can get further into this competition. It's going to be very, very hard though. Having beaten Arsenal in the last round when they were basically top of the league in the FA Cup, then this time we play Liverpool, who are top of the league as we currently speak in the FA Cup. So really hard opposition. We'll see what sort of side Liverpool put out, but we're going to go full throttle on it. We're going to put out as good a side as we can. The only issues that we've got is that Guive has just come back from a bit of a knock, so he's not 100% fit. You can see also Joku has not got match sharpness. He's come back from a fairly lengthy trip onto the injury bench, so that he's got to work a little bit of that out, so we might have to replace him maybe, but Ivan's sitting there having played pretty well for us recently, and Target is the one that's out of the side today just because he's got suspended, picked up too many yellow cards, and that's the way it is. So what I've decided to do, because of the loss recently against Liverpool, because we're away from home at Anfield, I'm going to start the match slightly in our defensive structure and see if we can break from there later in the game if the game enables us to do it. So all that means that what we've got today in terms of our team is Bazunu in goal, Bogle at right back, Cooper at left back, Romario and Harwood-Bellis in central defence, with Joku, Vera and Silas in central midfield, with Knoll on the right, Guive on the left and Pauletta up top, with a bench of Burns, Matheson, Ivan, Martinez, Langer, Farrow and Monterese. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So because we're underdogs in today's game, very much so, away from home at the league leaders in the FA Cup, I've decided to go with, we've got nothing to lose, we know how good we are, let's go and give a performance for everybody to show how good we are, and just see if I can enable them to free themselves up a little bit, understand that this is a free hit, we give it as good a go as we can and just see how we get on. You can see that they've put out a decent side though, Liverpool, the likes of Alexander-Arnold and Vinicius Jr. and all sorts of guys are in there, so it's going to be tricky, but I think we've set up in the best way possible to start the match with, at least in the defensive style, just to see if we can stay in the game for the first sort of half an hour. And at the moment we're playing the ball around very nicely in midfield, out wide left to Guive, and he'll cut back inside. So we're keeping the ball quite nicely at this point. And Guive rides a challenge and runs past and puts a lovely ball through to Pauletta, but a weak shot at the end of it. Gets really into near the 6-yard box and should have done a lot better with that. What a brilliant ball that was through by Guive. Corner comes in and it's half cleared by Liverpool, but we pick it up in our defensive area. Bogle back out wide right to Knoll. Gets a chance now for another cross in. Puts it at the top of the box. And it was Vera, I think, on the top of the box that fired one narrowly wide from 20 yards out. A great effort, but not quite there on the final bit of the shot. Corner kick from Liverpool and a good save by Bazunu. But we only get it partially cleared and Liverpool pick it back up again just outside the box, and we'll get another opportunity to get it back inside with another chance maybe. Down the left-hand side they go, and Salah on the ball. Is it Salah or Saka? I couldn't see who they've got down there actually. But they continue to play nice possession football on the edge of the box. We hold our shape though. We're disciplined and we keep poking and prodding at them a little bit. But there's a good sweeping ball out wide right to Alexander-Arnold. Cuts into the box. And we're very unfortunate there. Bazunu at the near post gets a ball fired at him by Alexander-Arnold. All he can do is parry it. And he parries it out into the 6-yard box. And the Liverpool striker is stood right there. And he pokes it home into an open net, really. Good shot by Alexander-Arnold, but very, very disappointing handling by the goalkeeper. As I say, all he could do is put it in the path of Rogerio, and they go 1-up. That's disappointing, isn't it, really? After 18 minutes of playing solid football, you can see in the match stats that we're coping pretty well. We're in this game, and there's an immediate response. Knoll with a corner kick. I was just talking over the fact we had a simple corner kick. I didn't think anything was going to happen for it, but he fires one right into the centre of that 6-yard box and smack on the head of Paoletta, our striker, and he powers it home. An immediate response from Derby County, and we go 1-1 after 20-odd minutes of the game, and that's much better. Back in the game immediately, re-establishing ourselves and making it clear that we're not going to roll over here at all, which is good. And you can see that continues in terms of the match stats. We're having even possession and relatively good amount of shots on goal as well, leading up to half time. So I'm relatively pleased with that. We let in an unfortunate goal, little bit of a handling error from the goalkeeper, but other than that, I think we've coped very, very nicely. So we're going to go with the assistant who wants to tell the boys they did well and their efforts were excellent. So we'll do that and just clear that team talk. You can see that everybody's conditioning is good so far. We've got a slight couple of low ratings, but that's nothing to worry about at this stage in the game. So we'll go immediately back into the second half and see if we can continue in this vein of form. I like this setup. For the big guys away from home, this defensive setup works pretty well. So we'll see whether in this second half we can continue that vein of form against them and hold our own as the game ticks on into the more sort of important part of the game, the last sort of 20 minutes where nerves start to go a little bit. So it's Liverpool on the ball in their defensive area with De Ligt, and he goes wide right, and again wide right to Alexander-Arnold, and a good cross in. He's a good player, Alexander-Arnold, down that right-hand side, overlapping defender, fullback. He does a great job, great whipping cross in, but that time it doesn't cause us any too much harm, so that's good. But 73 minutes gone, we're going to stop the game there for a moment and just see where we can improve things a little bit, maybe make a couple of changes. We are going to take Joku off. He is just coming back from that little period off through injury, so we're going to take him off and protect him a little bit, bring Ivan on, who's played very well for us recently. We are going to take Guive off as well because of the little knock that he's recovering from, and we'll put Farrow down that left-hand side, our new guy down the left-hand side. And then we've got one other to make. We could make a defensive change. Harwood Bellis is not playing particularly well, but what I think I'll do is take Vera off, and we're going to just play a little bit on the front foot for the last little bit of the game. So Martinez and Silas will switch over. We're not going to change the shape, but we're just going to put Martinez in that slightly higher up position in central midfield to see if he can unlock something there. And we're just going to try and remain disciplined in our defensive style of play, but look for a slight bit of quality as we move hopefully into a scoring opportunity ourselves. And there was Martinez on the ball, back to Ivan, into the game already. Silas and Ivan playing nicely in central midfield, and Ivan calms it down and picks out his pass. They let him do it, and it's Knoll down the right hand side into the near post, and Paoletta, after a header at goal which they can only parry out, gets the second chance at it, and the goalkeeper's on the floor having parried the ball, and so he pokes it home nicely for a 2-1 lead after 78 minutes. We are absolutely 13 minutes away from a real good upset in the FA Cup if we can hold on to it. We're going to stay in our defensive structure. We're not going to come out and do anything silly. And that was a brilliant opportunity, and it was caused by Ivan in central midfield, just calming the ball down, taking his time and finding that ball to Noel on the right-hand side, and he whips in a great cross for Paoletta, and the time is ticking away, and there are no more highlights, and Derby County, we get a brilliant win against Liverpool in the FA Cup, and we go through to the semi-final, having beaten Arsenal and now Liverpool. Is this our year for silverware? Who knows? Let's hope so. That was a magnificent second half performance, really professional style. You know, you get a second goal, but you've got to see out the game. You've got to do your work properly. And I was amazed by that. That was a great performance. So we're going to tell them that was really special. Nobody gave us a chance and you performed above expectation. They all love that, which is fantastic to see. And now we get the joy of seeing who we get in the next round of the FA Cup into the semi-finals. Paoletta ends his goal drought. That was a little bit of a concern that he'd gone a little while without a goal, but he's back on the goal scoring trail again. Let's hope that opens the floodgates for him a little bit in the lead up to the end of the season. Noel is still being scouted by Man United, but as I said to you in the last episode, if they think they're getting him cheap, they've got another thing coming. He's got a release clause of over 100 million, and they're going to have to basically pay it to get him. So let's just see if I can skip forward a little bit and see who we get in the next round of the FA Cup. So here we go for the semi-final draw of the FA Cup. What a lineup it is. Having beaten Arsenal, having beaten Liverpool, in the semi-final we've got Derby County, Manchester City, Tottenham and Manchester United. Those are the choices. It's not going to be easy again, is it? But let's see who we get. So let's draw the first team out, and it's Manchester United at home. If possible, I'd prefer a home game, but maybe against the big guys away from home in that defensive structure is the better way to go. And it looks like that's the way it's going. We've got a Manchester derby in the first semi-final, and Tottenham play us in the second semi-final. And we are going to take the home position, it looks like, against Tottenham. Interesting. I thought that they got that, but I'm not quite sure why that flipped around. But I guess it's a neutral venue at Wembley anyway, so it doesn't matter. I suspect we're going to have to go with our defensive structure again to start that match anyway in the semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley. But yeah, there we go. Manchester Derby for semi-final 1 and Derby County versus Tottenham Hotspur in semi-final number 2. And we will come back in the next episode and play that game. How could we not? This is our focus now through to the end of the season. Our Premier League position is going to be roughly where I think it currently sits. It might go up a position, maybe it might go down a position, but somewhere in there. So I think we'll do okay in that. But I think this FA Cup run has got a potential to really be something special. If we could get past Tottenham and get to the final, and having played Arsenal, Liverpool and Tottenham to get there, that would be an amazing achievement. So let's see how we get on. So join me next episode for the Tottenham match in the FA Cup semi-final, and we'll see how we get on. But thanks for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do and join my United City community. The more the merrier. It's a great thing to boost the numbers and get more people involved in the comment sections below. If you've got something to tell me about your save or my save or anything, chuck them in the comments. Always want to hear what you've got to say. Doesn't mean I always enact on the advice you give me or whatever, but I always read every comment. So please get involved if you want to. But you know, if you enjoyed this particular episode, click that like button. That helps me get seen by lots of other people. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.